Well, let's start this out, eh? Here we are on Watford Road, just by the 406. These lights usually change at the same time. They've phased them correctly, so that's always good. It is, you might be able to see that from my phone, it's 6:07 on the 16th of May. And I am Fat Bloke Rides, just pootling around on my e-bike. I did plan this route out last week. Still can't use this extension of the CS2 yet, but hopefully one day we will, and that'll be great. But we're heading up to Central Park, which I think is sort of like East Stammish way. We're going to route our way along the Greenway for a bit, and then onto the CS3, down a bit of the A13. Then we're going to navigate down Mitchell Walk, head towards the Beckton Corridor, loop around the Beckton Corridor, ride along Victoria Dock, and then whittle our way home around Barking. So it's going to be some bits of this ride are familiar, some bits I've never done before, and that's the good thing about getting out on your e-bike. Some of it's good for fitness, and some of it's good for your mental health. I find it helps my mental health quite a lot. It helps just clear my head. And I definitely wouldn't be able to do these sorts of rides on a regular bike. I'm not fit enough for that yet. Right, so it looks like here we're going straight ahead. We just went down Dersingham Avenue. Now we're going carrying on Dersingham Avenue. So here we go. Yeah, I mean the first bit of this bike ride I put in just to see what it's like. There is actually a little bike path that goes under a railway bridge. Hopefully it's not one of those ones like in Walthamstow where you have to literally duck, otherwise your head scrapes the top. But we'll see when we get there. We should be getting there very shortly. As you can see on the map, we're turning left at this junction here, and I think that right turn that's coming up on the map is the one that's going to take us under the railway bridge. So we're in Chesterford Road now. Like I said, this is all new to me. I've lived around here my whole life, but another good thing about pootling around on an e-bike is you'll discover things you didn't know existed. I certainly had no idea about this cheeky little pathway that goes under the railway bridge, and that's what we're going to be turning right here for, I believe. Yep, here we go. Yeah, so I mean, the width restriction is just to stop, I think, cars and stuff from coming down here. The height is pretty decent. There you go. So that's the first new bit of bike or cycleway I've never been down before. I mean, that over there is the A406 if I've got my bearings right. Yeah, if I do start singing any Suburban Legends songs. I do apologise. People may not even know who they are, but I was at their concert last night, so I'm still reminiscing from last night. Right, so we are turning left here now. Get my indicator on. I do try and look for road names because I'm not really too familiar with exactly what road name I'm on, but I haven't seen one yet. So that's a bit but we're turning right here apparently. What's the name of that? There we go. The Roading. Oh, okay. Not many I get to still see there's pubs around somewhere because a lot of them seem to be closing down lately, unfortunately. In this current economic climate, people can't really afford to be going to pubs as a social thing. I mean, I know I just said I went to a concert last night, but that's pretty much the only time I leave the house unless I'm going to work, is when I go to concerts. And I very rarely spend any money on drinks because I'm a tightwad. Tend to buy merch, the band's t-shirt, just to support them, make sure they can survive, make sure live music can still exist in this realm. Okay, strange there's no road signs down here. Oh well, got another left turn coming up soon, so hopefully that road has. I mean, all these side streets I've seen have one. So what's that? That's Southend Road. Interestingly, nowhere near Southend. Yeah, I'm not sure if we are actually making an actual left. I think we're just following this road. So I don't think this road goes straight up. So I can see there's a Major's Builders Merchants right in front of me. So I can't go into that. Ooh. I believe charger in use by an old school Nissan Leaf there. Well, yeah, those cars are around from like 2011. So yeah, still going strong. 15 years later. Good to see, good to see. Right, so that's Burgess Road. And we are now on Keppel Road. Right, here we go. Yeah, so we got, I think you guys can see that, 14.9 miles left on today's journey. I usually try and get my journeys when I plan them to around the sort of 20 mile mark. Sometimes I get it close, it might be like 19 point something. If I'm going a bit further afield, it might end up at like 25. You know, I mean, I didn't record last week's video, but I went over to Southend Walk last week, and that was about 25 miles. I mean, it takes me 10 miles just to get into London, and you still got to go over the bridge and do everything else, so not a surprise really. I mean, I do have some longer cycle routes planned, but I'm going to have to wait until this weather sorts itself out, because, you know, until I can be 100% sure it's going to be warm and stay warm, you know, because for anyone that got caught out in that rain on Wednesday, which I did because I cycled to work, I work in Lakeside, and coming home from there I got absolutely wrecked. Oh, this is Barking Road, so I don't need a signpost for here. I know where this is. This is very familiar. This road's familiar to me. We are now turning left here, which makes sense because I said, you know, my route mainly is going to end up along the CS3 at some point, which is basically a road that runs on the a protected cycle road that is on the A13 pavement. But it's definitely a very cool cycleway. The issue with it is just the fact that it's so noisy, which is why we've gone for the Central Park and Mitchell walk thing for today, because I do try to, when I do these routes, I try to make them as scenic as I can, and as long as much quiet, protected as I can as well, you know. So, oh, squirrel. Yeah. We're probably going to see a lot more of them when we get towards Mitchell Walk as well. That's quite foresty, lots of trees. I don't think it's something I encounter when I cycle to work, when I head up to Lakeside. For people wondering how I do that, predominantly I cycle along the old A13 past the Circus Tavern. Now this looks a little bit narrow, but I'm sure I can get through. Yeah, I pretty much cycle down the old A13, which is the A1306 now, I believe. But yeah, once I've navigated out of Ilford and sort of up to Dagenhamish way, so I usually join the old A13 via Goresbrook Road, because again, you know, this is chill, isn't it? It's just a nice park. Where we're going out this gate here by the looks of things. I probably could carry along there because it looks like I'm going to be going left when I get out of here, but let's just stick to the routes. I don't want my bike map to start having a panic attack that I'm not doing the right thing. And this looks like a very weird one-way system that I'm going to use here. Yeah, well, I think we will go onto the Greenway for a little bit. I mean, unfortunately we can't use the Greenway in its entirety because a lot of the Greenway is under refurbishment at the moment. Yes, where it wants me to go there, because that's where the buses are. Surely I'll just come straight up here. I did wonder about that wheel turning. I mean, yeah, we are back on to the main road that we was on before we turned off. But again, you know, it's cool to get it's cool to be able to continue on your route whilst getting to somewhere that's a bit more protected, you know. Yeah, I think this is the part where we're going to hit onto the CS3, because that's basically where we're heading now. We're heading up to the A13, and the CS3 is a bike route that will take you from Barking all the way into central London, so that's a pretty good bike route, pretty much right up to Tower Bridge. I would sort of say it sort of follows the DLR really, because I think the cable, that's the Cable Street part of the CS3 where you pass that Shadwell and all those stops on the DLR. Oh, maybe I'm heading onto the Greenway first. Looks like I'm going onto the Greenway. Apologies. I've got my bearings mixed up. Yeah, so we're heading onto the Greenway first, which is up here. So this is going to be interesting. So I think there are cars behind me, so I should probably have to mount the pavement. Here. So I can use the crossing to get across the road. That's the reason why right, let's go. Well, there was a red light there, but let's face it, even when people are crossing the road, no one ever waits for the green. If it's empty, it's empty. It's still 6:22 in the morning, so very likely it's going to be empty. So yes, this is a small section of the Greenway that we're doing. The Greenway basically goes from Beckton. There's another part of it that we didn't do, which takes you past the Britvic factory, so you can always smell the juices being made, so that's always cool. But it ends up at Stratford, and then you can continue across towards the Olympic Park, but I think a lot of people do use it as a cut through into Stratford. So that was interesting. I don't know if they've just come home from a night out or what, but hey, as long as they're not hurt and they're having fun, who am I to judge? Everyone. And this is the good thing about this path, is that you will see cyclists, you will see joggers, you will see, during the weekday you'll see parents taking their kids to school, you'll see people walking dogs. And why wouldn't you? Like, it's, you know there's going to be no cars around here. If you're walking your dog, there's at least a bit of grass for him to play in, you know. It's absolutely, it's this sort of infrastructure that will get people out on bikes. If that's the aim of the government, to get more people out of cars. More cycleways like this is your key to that success. Whether they like me or not, you know, people may not like me saying that, but that is the truth of the matter. The other thing though, you know, there's so many connections onto this Greenway as well from people in the neighbouring houses, you know, because this does seem to sort of go along the backs of most people's houses, so a lot of people can quite easily get onto the Greenway just from simply leaving their house, you know. So that's alright, isn't it? I can't remember, I do feel that there are some exits and entry points onto this path that are stairs. So if you had a bike, you would have to navigate that, a slight annoyance, but it wouldn't be terrible. You'd either have to go to the next one or bounce your bike down, I guess. But like I said, most of the time when I'm riding this, I used to ride this a lot when I worked in Westfield, in Stratford, which I don't really know, so I don't like it next time. Okay. I'm going to head down this road. Again, it's probably going to be an extremely quiet road. I mean, that's another good thing when you use the Commute app, which is what I use to generate my cycling routes, is that if you want, oh, we're heading down this little, I didn't realise there was a little cut through here, but again, this is why I do these rides, because you discover things you didn't know existed. Again, I hate these width things, so we should be alright. But yeah, the great thing about if you use the Commute app to create your bike rides, which I do pretty much all the time, you can specify which kind of cycling you want to do. Regular cycling, the regular cycling mode does this, where it prefers quiet roads and segregated cycleways. And then you have road cycling, speaks for itself, you know, so that's gonna preference main roads. So I guess it just assumes that your cycling capabilities are better than mine. Where are we going now? I think we're going through here. Yeah, and then you also have like mountain biking, and then they do backpacking as well if you're someone that's going to be doing like camping out. Let's just do a quick check. I think this is a dual lane bike path, which they have one on either side, so that is always good. Where it's the A13, they don't force you. It's not like some bike paths when you're on main roads where it isn't a dual carriageway. Bike lanes can sometimes be one way and also one on each side, but because this is a dual carriageway, they've been very good to the cyclists, and there's two lanes on either side, and and they're both two-way. Now we are going to be actually doing some weird move in a bit, because we want to be on that side in order to then navigate through Mitchell Walk down to Beckton Corridor. But first, we've got to get onto the other side of the A13, which, thanks to the amazingly good cycleway, because this is part of the CS3, this one, which is the one that goes from Barking into Central. We ain't going to be riding that there. That could be for a future video. I've certainly ridden down the CS2 quite a few times recently because that's closer to my house. But it could be that I do a bike ride where I go into central London via the CS2 and then I come home via the CS3. It will add a little bit more. And it's just a weird thing, but they want me to go over here. Then go onto that bike lane. Then I've got to do some weird nonsense. But it's fine. We can do whatever weird nonsense it is they want me to do. Yes, but I think they might. I think they might be about to move. So let's make sure that I press the button. I did slightly go a different way to what they wanted me to, but I'm going to end up in the right place, which is the main thing. Because they wanted me to cross over and go along that road, that bit of road, but instead I come along this little road instead, because I'm a rebel. Oh, I'm a rebel. Don't know if I can. Canning Town Recreation Ground. Yeah, it's good that they do have a lot of. That is something you do see along this CS3 path. There's quite a lot of green spaces, shall we say? You know, which is good. I think the more things like that you have for kids to do, just to try and get them out of the house. I mean, I'm not saying that I was great. I think I was just, you know, when I was born. When I was born, we just didn't have PlayStations. They came when I got into more adulthood. So I'd already had my child years of getting out and about. My one big regret is that I never carried on cycling. Like I used to cycle quite a lot when I was a kid. Then once I learned how to drive a car, I just didn't bother anymore. Well, I think I'm going in there, I actually don't know why, but it looks like this one. But yeah, I think that I cycled quite a lot, like I said, when I was a kid. And then once I learned how to drive, I kind of stopped really. And I kind of do regret that, because I feel like had I carried on, I could potentially be doing a ride like this on a regular bike, you know, but I need an e-bike. Because I'm just not fit enough to do this kind of journey. Right, I've got to do a sharp turn here, so this is going to be fun. I have a bit of speed through here, but I try not to pick up too much speed, because you just never know when you're cycling. You can pick up all this speed and all of a sudden there's a freaking rock or a stone in the road and bam, you're on the floor. Obviously using that speed to get up the other side is helpful. But now that's interesting, because it says left turn only. But I guess because I'm a bike, I'm going to cheat the system a little bit and head up onto this pavement. And then we're going back down back down here, which is fun. Not really too sure why it asked me to do that, actually. It seemed weird, but we'll stick to it. So I've still got the shared pavement sign there, because the bike lane does disappear on this bit. But while you've got the blue shared symbols, you're good to go. It's always the thing to look out for. Ah, right, okay. Maybe we're here because potentially it's the A13 only has bike lane on the other side. Maybe there isn't a bike lane on that side. Yeah, that's why we're going down here. Okay, it makes a bit more sense now, and that's why this is a shared path, because I don't think there's really any space along that bit to put a bike lane in. Then the weird thing is it wants me to cross over again. Then I think go that way. Well, I mean, what I had originally planned was to just stay on this side, go all the way down and come back, but I guess this is why I've had to do it this way, because maybe there isn't a way that you can do that, I don't know, but hey, it's fine. We're kind of back to the junction we was at, and that is sometimes the little, some of the weird things that these cycling apps do. Sometimes you feel like you're just going in a loop, but hey, I don't mind. It's if it made me do that and I was cycling on a road with cars and it was busy, I might get a little bit frustrated, but hey, right now we're on a segregated path, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, I mean, I've done it wrong again, but hey, this is where the monarchy is headed. Carry on. Yeah, no, I probably shouldn't be making these moves right now, but when you're, yeah, it seems to want me to, yeah, I did probably cross in the wrong place, because I think it wants me to actually stay on, it wants me to go on this little bit of path here, I think, which is fine. And I think, I don't know, I mean, maybe it's going to lead me to the same place anyway. I feel like, because that's the CS, that's the main part, it'll just cross you over, but instead I'm going here, so I don't think it makes that much difference, but hey. So mad, he makes me feel so good, everybody knows it's the boss of the neighborhood. Yeah, well, we are still back onto the CS3, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with the CS3, it's just not as peaceful and quiet as some bike lanes are, but if your commute requires you to head down the A13 in any direction, the CS3 is a pretty good way, although there's not much of this in the opposite direction, which is why I wouldn't drive into Lakeside, or cycling to Lakeside. I have to use the A3106, but is it narrow? Probably doesn't help that the grass is kind of overgrown onto this side. As you can see, there's not a lot left when you look at how much there is from the white line to the curb. You know, the white line that way, and I guess you don't want to go too far that way anyway, because you don't want to, you know, if you end up getting unbalanced to fall off the bike, the last thing you want to do is to be on the A13. You should probably kind of survive that. I mean, touch wood, I haven't fallen off my bike yet. Well, not this bike. I've certainly fallen off with other bikes. I haven't fallen off with this one yet. But I've only had this since 23rd of Jan, so there's time. Okay, so at this next junction, I'm going to be chucking a right to head down to Mitchell Walk. I don't think that's this junction, because that doesn't lead in. that's why I prefer to use my phone map. And it's alright, I mean this oh, I've got to go here. Yeah, with this smart and so yeah, this smartphone holder for the Bosch e-bike system also does have a wireless charging pad. Now I did find when I was using the commute, because sometimes this app doesn't always find my route, and I'll create a route using commute. I'll go to, so now we're on Mitchell, and I'll go to import it into my phone, onto the cycling computer, and it will just say no. Well, that's a bit of a... That's a stumbling block I wasn't expected. This does happen sometimes. So my bike app wants me to go there, but I can't because, as you can see, the gates are very locked. Whether that's just because they don't allow bikes in there anymore, or anyone in there anymore, or just because it's too early in the morning. So now I've got to try and find an alternative way to get back to where I want to be. Yeah, this is not going to be fun because I don't really know where I am, if I'm going to be honest with you. This is where... yeah, I know. I think I should have taken it on the left. Well, yeah, this is what we're going to find out how good my... I think I need to go down here. This goes down. I think there's another bit of greenway like cycling, so yeah, this is a bit of unexpectedness, so I apologise if, I mean, maybe you might be grateful that my rambling stops while I work out where I am and where I'm going. I'm hoping that there might be some greenery that I can use to get myself back en route. It's a little, yeah, it's unexpected, but this sort of stuff can happen, so you do have to be prepared that stuff like that can happen. Yeah, we're going to head down here. Yeah, and I think I've done a bit of this route, like this bit before, but I was hoping. But anyway, cool. So yeah, slight detour, and we should be back to where my bike route was intended to go. But yeah, this is another one that's very nice. I've cycled down here before. It was when I discovered this, I decided I wanted to try and do a bit more of it. That's why I was hoping to do that bit that I wanted to, but obviously the gate was locked, so I can't really do a lot when the gate's locked. But hey, it's cool. This is still okay. I mean, that was pretty much a little... Those other roads that we were on were pretty much roads you would only go on if you lived there, really. So I think even if you was doing this at 6 in the morning, you wouldn't get much. You wouldn't get much. Actually, I wasn't looking. Yeah, well, I think that's where... Oh, no, that's my bad. I wanted to turn left, so now we're going to turn right, because that's where we wanted. That's where I was trying to come from, but it wouldn't let me. Right, so now we are back en route. So it's just a slight detour. But yeah, I mean, It looks like it's well lit around here. So I can see quite a lot of street lamps, so I think if you were doing this at night, I don't think it would be too terrible. And obviously I don't live around here, so I'm not going to comment or say anything that I shouldn't say. A slight uphill, always welcome. If you want to try and keep yourself fit, you can see there's plenty of street lamps around here, so. But I mean, the other good thing is that we are hopefully going to start to see some more permanent sun soon. And if we do see more permanent sun, then it shouldn't get dark till about 9:30, 10 o'clock anyway, so unless you're a night worker and you had to use this route, you should still be fine. I mean, this is only dark because there's trees. Right, so where am I going now? I'm still following along past another little play area, which is cool. You know, more green spaces. More green spaces we have the bit here. This is sort of like a parky bit, isn't it? Because there was, you know, as a kids play up here there. And a nice big open field for kick a ball about. Let your dog have some fun. Speaking of which, there's one right here. Hasn't been off the lead, but you know. So where am I going now? Am I just following this route? I think I am. So I think now I believe we're on the Beckton corridor, I believe, which is recently, it's like a horse track, the way it's got the fences either side. Like a little bit of a bridleway, but almost like where you would race them, you know. I mean, it's not long enough, but the fact that you've got the little bit of mud there in the fences, it looks very horse racing. Maybe they used to be back in the day. I've not done any research about where I am. But yeah, this is Beckton Corridor, which was recently refurbished, because I did cycle along here about a month ago. Maybe, I can't remember now, but there was a section of it that I had to navigate off of, because it was still, as you can see like this, it was still being resurfaced. But this, I think, is pretty much all done now, so we should be able to ride along here with no interruptions. And again, these are just nice, aren't they, you know? You know, I feel like that if you, and I'm not gonna, you know, I don't hate on people that don't cycle to work, because there could be a number of reasons why you can't. I mean, definitely where I work in Lakeside, some of my colleagues do cycle out. Some of my colleagues are driving in from like Colchester and stuff, you know. I don't think you'd want to be doing that bike ride. I mean, one of my mates gets a train from Southend, and he was actually talking about cycling to work the other day, and I was like, I mean, that would be a pretty, I mean, his journey from Southend to Lakeside would be as long as my return journey, so let's just put it that way. You know, my complete journey to Lakeside and back to home again is about, well, I think I do about 12.9ish miles each way, so it's almost 13. So it's close enough to 26 miles. But his cycle from Southend to Lakeside would be about 20 miles. It'd be like 2 hours. I mean, and if he feels so inclined to do it, I mean, great. I mean, I do get it to a certain degree, because I know the C2C isn't the most reliable train in the world. He seems to always be. He seems to struggle a lot when we're heading down there. He seems to struggle quite a lot with strikes and engineering works and delays, so I get it, like I understand it. You know, you cycle, that is something that's in your control, and you know, you can pretty much always guarantee how long your route's going to be, you know. So now, yeah, we're just cycling around here. Just going to take us back up to, I'm going a bit slow because this sun's absolutely killed me. I don't know how that's coming out on camera, but yeah, I'm a little bit worried you might just see nothing, which is pretty much what I see at the moment, so it would be a fair representation. So this route takes us back up towards Beckton and near sort of Galleon's Reach way. Then we're going to follow that road all the way down to the Victoria Docks, cycle along the dock for a bit, and then we're actually going to loop back round on the Beckton corridor again, because I do quite like the Beckton corridor, but we will be doing a longer section of it, so we're going to pick it up from almost the start of it as opposed to midway through like we did just then. So yeah, my map obviously up here has both left and right on there. We're going to be going right at this point, like I said, because we're heading back down towards the Victoria Dock. It's when we're coming home that we're going to be going that way. And turn too early because I'm an idiot. Right, well, we need to go through here first and wait till we get to the junction up here, not that junction, because we are still staying on this little greenway here. Cool, so we're going to bear right here. And again, yeah, this is another route that has street lights, so I'm assuming that if you had to, you know, if this had to be part of your commute and you was maybe doing this in the winter, I'd like to think that these lights would give you some sort of a reassurance. I mean, I get it, you know, some people might see this as quite a confined space, you know, like there's not really exit strategies if you was to get accosted. They always say to go onto the road here, but I just think, what's the point? Like, if there's pedestrians here, fine, like I don't have an issue, but they want you to bump down the curb and bump up again. I'm like, why don't I just stay on the concrete? But anyway, that's a conversation for a different day. I'm not sure where that goes, or if that even goes anywhere. It doesn't look like it really. Looking at the map, that way doesn't really seem to do much. It just looks like it stops, or it takes you back onto the CS3 maybe. But anyway, yeah, I mean, the road that we're heading on is the road that does stem from Asda, which is where we just was. So yes, I 100% could have just stayed on the main road instead of going down the Beckton corridor. But like I said, when I do these bike rides, I always enjoy the scenery, and I like to try and get us off-road, as in away from cars. I feel like I shouldn't say off-road because that makes it feel like I'm going to be going on to like some BMX dirt tracks. I don't mean that. I just mean cycling infrastructure where you're away from cars. And that's where we're heading to now. We're not that far away. We're going to be heading on to the Royal Docks. And this is a route that I've done many a times. Because when I used to commute to Stratford, I used to have 3 different routes planned, depending on how far I wanted to cycle each time. And this route, from Ilford to Stratford, that took me along Victoria Docks, was the 13-mile route, which I used to predominantly do on a Sunday, because Sundays I would always start work at like 11:30. Not always, but the majority of the time I wouldn't start work till 11:30. So I wouldn't have to be getting up too early to do that long journey. And again, I think picking a Sunday is a good thing because you know it's going to be pretty quiet anyway. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately it's not a Sunday, so we may not see any of the rowing clubs or anyone actually using the dock itself, but you do see that on a Sunday. You do see a few rowing clubs that have got their boats in the water. I haven't really had to use my wind mirror, but again, depends on where I'm riding, right? But it's handy to have, because if I'm on any kind of main road for a long stretch, I mean, this is still sometimes good, even if you're on a bike lane, because you might be on a bike lane with other cyclists who are a bit impatient. Yeah, I'm still not sure what this is. This is relatively new. I mean, I discovered this when I suckled down here, I can't remember, but it wasn't that long ago. And it's got these markers as well, like it's, you know, like you're running, like you're doing an Olympic run or something. Yeah, look, 350 something, and there's the, oh, there's someone right, there's a couple of rows out. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I always do like cycling down here. I think this is, it can get a bit windy because you're in quite an open space. But I do like the peacefulness of being next to the water. There isn't really any chance of you falling in. I mean, it's pretty much a fence all the way along here. So, but yeah, that goes back round that way. So I think it's just like a loop around that building. Which I think it's one of the university buildings, I think. Yeah, they do seem to have gotten rid of, oh, I didn't know that fishing, I mean, I guess he wouldn't be here if it wasn't. Didn't know fishing was allowed down here, so that's new. Is that a plane about to take off? It's very blue. I mean, I don't think that's I mean, I guess it could be an airline, because City Airport do commercial flights. They tend to be more short haul as opposed to what you would get, I guess, if you went from Heathrow or Gatwick. But yeah, they used to have out here, used to have like gigantic deck chairs and an outdoor gym, but I guess they got rid of a lot of that. Sorry about the burpees. But yeah, I mean, you can ride this pathway. Does it say Trailblazer? You can ride this pathway all the way up to Canning Town, but we're going to be turning off before that. This also does go past the XL as well. So, and yeah, so far, whilst there does seem to be some lockable fences, I've never ever found these fences locked yet. I guess I shouldn't question it, but I don't think there is any locks on that one. There definitely is one of these fences further up that looks like it could be closed off and locked. And like I said, so far, yeah, it's a shame though, it's such a big amount. I've never seen that, I've never seen the fences locked off, so I get distracted easily. Yeah, it's a shame that that land is just disused and overgrown. There's such a big amount of land they could do something with. But I guess it depends on who it's owned by and how much it would cost to acquire. So I'm guessing it wouldn't be cheap. I don't know what it was. I mean, there's, I don't know if it was like a car drive. I don't think so. It's just, I don't know what it was. But apparently there's a lot of lane lines and zebra crossings. I wonder if it's one of those car drives. I don't know whether people have that around the world, but in the UK, oh, here we go. That blue one. Let's get ready for takeoff. There you go. I guess if you live here, you've already, you can't live here without knowing there's an airport. You just have to be content with the fact that you're going to hear that a lot. Is that one coming into land as well? But yeah, I do wonder whether, because a lot of these planes do only do short haul, whether they might actually start to get electric planes taking off from here, because that would be cool. That would be pretty cool, but hey, probably just a pipe dream. But yeah, sorry, again I got distracted. But in the UK, if you have someone who is learning how to drive, you can actually take people to what's called a car drone. Because you pay money to use it, it's private land. Sometimes people do take their kids there before they're legally, before you can even get your provisional, because you're off-road, and you can give people some practice. My finger slipped. Yeah, so you can get your kids some practice in before they start their lessons. I don't know, I'm assuming that other countries have something similar. They just may not call it a car drone, but I would imagine that something similar exists. Yeah, I think we need to go right here, where these trees are. Yeah, and again, I mean, you've got the bollards here, just to make sure that no cars try to get up here. Yeah, I can't. I assume that middle one is maybe a collapsible bollard, so that if they needed emergency services to get access, that they still could. A lot of these places always have that allowance. That if you are whilst you may not want cars to go there, you still need to be able to get emergency services there in case someone needs it. I mean, if like one of those restaurants or something that's on fire. There's a few restaurants down there. I mean, the last time when I cycled down there, I did go all the way up to Canning Town. They had an Elvis Presley themed restaurant there, which I think was part of the Elvis exhibition. But here we are, we're back on the Beckton corridor again now. Slightly downhill, so the motor's going, hey, let's enjoy some of this extra speed. And yeah, we are going to pretty much be doing a similar bit to what we did before, so I do apologise. I just really like this road, it's very calming. And it's just nice to be able to stay away from car traffic. Yeah, I mean, it's basically where we joined it when we came from up there from the left. So yeah, we're back to where we was on it before. But then when we get to that little fork that we was at last time, we're going to be going left and heading back home. But there is also I've planned a slightly different route to go now, because normally I just follow the main road, but this time I'm going to be going a slightly different route to test out, well, not to test out, but just because there's some other green space that I would like to do that. What you do? I understand potentially where this tarmac is freshly laid, this may be a lot smoother for someone to jog on, so I get that, but come on, the whole point of this pathway is that you have your bit there and we have our bit here, I mean, we've got a little curb there that says no, we stay here, and we've got our 2 lanes. Another squirrel, go on son, where you go? Up the tree, obviously. Squirrels everywhere, which is good. Again, nature, It's just a nice thing. This is Asda. Asda's shopping centre, and it looks like a We Buy Any Car. There's quite a few of them in Asda's. There's one at the Asda in Dagenham as well, because that's where we sold my dad's car when he passed away. But yeah, but the bike lane also has a little route here on the left, so if you are going to Asda, I guess you can just go down that way, which is cool. So yes, I do apologise for the repeat route, but we are heading to somewhere different. We just have to get across this road again. Actually, I planned this route this way because I wanted to. Yeah, and it sounds weird, I know, but I don't normally cycle along this pathway in this direction. I usually cycle from Beckton, from like Galleon's Reaches going that way, so cycling it this way. It's strange how when you cycle a route you've been on before, but you do it in a different direction, that it feels different even though you know the route. And once you've done it a few times, it becomes familiar. But it's weird how your brain doesn't process it as the same route, even though that it is. But hey, I guess that's one of life's. I guess that's one of life's mysteries. Well, again, yeah, this is all pretty much, you know, some of these roads don't really offer any benefit to coming off the main road, so a lot of the time you're only going to be around here if you live here. I'm just being honest. You aren't really going to be driving around here unless you live here, so it does make these roads extremely quiet. Even though this is 7 o'clock now on a Saturday morning, so yeah, we've been on the bike for about an hour now. It's pretty cool. I usually do I try to get at least 2 hours in, but like I said, sometimes the route that you plan, like unless, because I think if I hadn't have done the Beckton corridor twice, this route would have been a lot shorter, so sometimes you add in those little repeat sections just to make the journey a bit longer, And that's what I had to do here. And I'm not mad about it, because I enjoy cycling along the Victoria Dock. I enjoy it quite a lot because I just enjoy it. You always want to slow down. You've got their dogs around, you don't want to scare the dogs. That's what I said. Even though I've done this route a million times, I know where I'm going. My brain is still like, are you sure? Hey, a squirrel. Man, he bolted up that tree, didn't he? Did he use saying bolt up that one? But yeah, and that is Beckton Tesco's where Galleon's Reaches. Said we was going to be coming around this way, and we have. Seagulls. I would say it's strange that seagulls have migrated to this sort of area, but at the end of the day, seagulls are them kind of creatures that look for easy food, and while people are always going to leave rubbish on the floor, that's just going to make life easy for the seagulls, isn't it, really? So I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. Yeah, so again, this is a nice little... oh, hello kitty. Didn't expect to see a cat. I guess it belongs to someone. Hey, I'm not sure who, because that is all industrial there. Yeah, because we're heading around to Beckton Triangle now, where Sainsbury's is. Oh yeah, it's always such a lovely smell around here. Would be an understatement. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, a slight uphill here, and a slight round to the left, round to the right, but then you get to enjoy the slight downhill, and that is a very oh god. So I said oh god because I just saw a whole swarm of flying bugs of some description, and they're the ones that if you don't shut your mouth you just get a mouthful of bugs. So I don't particularly want that. But again, you know, still plenty of street lighting down here. And I say yeah, now we are coming up to where the drive-through restaurants are. What is it? We've got Burger King, KFC, and I think there's a Starbucks, there's a Costa, I think it's a Costa, there's a Popeyes now. Popeyes used to be Pizza Hut. That was a surprise to me, because again I've not been down here for a while, but that was always a Pizza Hut. But the strange thing is they used to have two Pizza Huts. You used to have one over there and one here. The one over there where Tesco's is a Bella Italia or something. Yeah, I was right, Costa and Popeyes. Yeah, I mean some of that. If I was crossing from the other side, it wouldn't be so bad, but I can't really. I go by those lights. The lights are red now, so if the car lights are red, then the pedestrian lights are going to be green. And so let's go. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a dramatic change because that used to be a bright red Pizza Hut sign. You know, it's not bright red, but you know, Pizza Hut was always red. Now it's a massively, I think, well, orange is a bit more vibrant than red in it in general. But yeah, now it's a big red, a big orange Popeyes. And they do stand out. I don't know whether that's why they've picked orange. Probably not, but you know. But yeah, you do find that they tend to stick out quite a lot. So yeah, so this next part of the bike ride is basically taking us around the roundabout where the A13 joins the A406. So we have come a little bit full circle again here. So always best to stop and check, because some people around here are on high-speed bikes, scooters. Some people are just completely throttling it and not even pedaling. And that is the common dig that I always get when I say on an e-bike, oh, you ain't got to do anything, have you? It depends. If you leave the bike on the lowest pedal assist, then yeah, you've got to put in a decent amount. If you leave the bike on the highest pedal assist, you don't really have to do much at all. So depends on what your aim is. Whether you want to be pedalling hard or hardly pedalling, you know? It's that age-old thing. Working hard or hardly working. I mean, I don't have this in full pedal assist. I have this on level 2 out of 4. Yeah, and up that bridge there where that gentleman's gone, that's part of the CS3, which carries on up to Barking. Oh, I didn't start up. I didn't do that, did I? So normally when I do these rides, I usually like to record my exercise. Let's see if it picks it up. Nope. Ah, what an idiot. I've done a whole hour of cycling and I completely forgot to start my bike ride. You know what else? I mean, that's on no one else but me. It's just frustrating that that's not going to be recorded been cycling for over an hour now. Oh, damn it. I know, it's because I was setting up my camera. This is the first time I'm using the camera, so my routine was a little bit different, and my brain forgot about oh well, not a lot I can do about it now, is there? Damn it. I'm annoyed at myself because I'm doing this thing, this challenge for work, where the more exercise you do, the more points you earn, and then you can win points and prizes. Obviously, the more I do, the more exercise I do, the more points I do. The fact that I've done like an hour that's not even been tracked is really frustrating. I know, I really wish that the bike would just start it, so the watch would recognise it, you know. And I thought maybe it might have picked it up from the beginning, but I literally only just remembered like an hour in, so that is completely my fault. I can't have anyone else to blame but myself. Anyway, let's ignore that, because it's been a very nice bike ride so far, so let's not let that one annoyance bring the mood down. Yes, so we are going to go up to that crossing there and cross as we are on a bike, and this is where the bike route takes us, and then it takes us back to here. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you are on a bus you have to be a bit more aware of I'm sure that car could have got along the side of me, but it's fine. I understand. And I do appreciate it, to be honest, the car stopping. I mean, it's a tricky one. I never want to force traffic to stop. I feel like that's why a lot of motorists don't like cyclists, because they feel that we cycle around like we own the place and everyone needs to give way to us. I don't cycle like that because I've driven a car my entire life. Well, my entire life. Ever since I was old enough to drive, I have been. So I am a cyclist, yes, but I do also drive a car, you know, so I am very aware of the rules of the road and what I should and shouldn't be doing, and so I always try to make sure that I behave myself. You know, this is new, so this is the new bit that normally I'd carry on down there. Well, that no entry probably says except cyclists, because they usually are like that, a lot of these roads. Yeah. It says it on there. No entry except cyclists. Okay. Well, I don't think I've got enough. It's not wide enough for me to cycle through there, so I'm definitely going to have to... I mean, I could have waited till I got there, but I just thought I was taking having to take a dramatic left turn. Right, now this is interesting, but I think maybe there's a reason for it. I think it's just because there's a big massive fence in the way. So there is a makeshift crossing here, and there is a drop curb, so drop curbs are always what I look for if I can find a drop curb. Let's go and see anything, just see it. This is basically going to take me into sort of more parking setup. take me into Barking Centre with Vicarage Fields. And again, this is all very well lit. And this is also quite open, so it's not really a park, just a nice bit of greenery instead of cycling along the A406 with all the noisy traffic, you know. So no, we're going straight up here by the looks of it. I've got to crash into that car. No, I'm not going to. No, I've got to go straight across here, basically. Which again is potentially one of these roads that might be for bikes. I don't think so. I just think there's probably not a lot down here that you're not going to come down here unless you live here. It always seems sort of like private. I'm very annoyed, like I said, but there's not really much point in me moaning about it now, is there? So there isn't much point in me moaning about it now, saying like what's happened has happened. What's done is done. Oh, okay. I was expected to be coming through there. Where is it really through? Let's just go back. The other way that it looked like it wasn't going to be valid. I think it wanted to go up here, but this didn't really lead anywhere either. But I guess I'll go round to the right here. Fastest travel lodge. I don't know why I couldn't have just gone straight up, but anyway, it's fine. Yeah, well I thought I was going to try and suck off the market, and I thought that's not going to work, is it? Like some of those markets, things are taking up quite a lot of space, and rightly so. I mean, you know, it's a market for a reason. You know what I mean? It is a market for a reason. Oh, again, I ain't been down here in fudging ages. Right, and it wants me to go up here somewhere. Well, there should still be a path through it, because people walking through. There should still be a path through here. Yeah, we'll go down here. See my friend and he's swimming along, real big fish in a tiny pond. Sorry. He waves hello as he's singing this song, my friend. I love my friend. We love him. Da 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 da. So red, he makes me feel so good. Yeah, I mean, this is all new territory for me, so I'm literally in the hands of my cycling app. Well, it's really going to be no intro except bikes, I'm hoping. Otherwise, I'm screwed. Yeah, so this is all completely new to me and all this road. But I think I did pick this for a reason. I think this is like another one of those under road bridges. And there is a park space there, but we're not going there. We're not going through there. We're going up this ramp, because we need to be going onto this main road here. Yeah, I might do, because I feel like I might go a little rogue instead of following no, actually, I don't know now. So I think I'm going for a park. Okay, maybe not. I was going to try and I was thinking of doing something slightly different. But I think I've got another park that I'm going through here, so I will leave it. I'll do that route another time. Because essentially when you come up here, if you go straight across, it then takes you into this nice little backstreet cycle path that takes you all the way down Ilford Lane essentially, but without having to be on in Ilford Lane traffic. But there's no point doing that. No point doing that today, because we are going this way. I'm going through I don't know, Barking? It's a park. I can't remember the name. I can't remember exactly what name this one has, but it's a park. Yeah, you've got to be careful there. There's a lot of big ducks around here. Yeah, it is Barking Park. I thought it was. I couldn't remember. Couldn't be 100% certain. But yeah, man, it's just, again, it's just nice to get somewhere away from traffic, which is what I enjoy when I'm cycling. Who doesn't? So that makes me feel so good. Just a pass. Yeah, let's not be a dick. Let's go slow. Because there's a lot of I don't really know where it wants me to go. I think it wants me to go. Around here it looks like. Oh, I'm actually going. No, that's what I thought. I'm thinking, where it's actually wants me to go, because I can't see another path there. So let's. Oh. Yeah, that would have been taking me. Well, that doesn't even work because that way's shut. I think that's where it wanted me to go, but it looks like it's barriered off, so I'm going to have to just keep going down here. Is there one of those in the other park that I cut through? Is it Mayfield Park or Maysbrook Park? It's one of the two when I'm on my way to work. Yeah, I'm going to have to go this way because I think that is all being redeveloped, I guess. I don't know, but I think that's where it wanted me to cycle up there, but I can't get there. So we will just stick to this one for now, won't we? Because we shall stick with this one because this is almost done. Yeah, I think that's what it wanted me to come from there. Yeah, okay. I've done right. Well, yeah, I guess they keep those bridges open so people can't try and jump onto those. I think I was meant to stay up there, but never mind. It all leads to the same place. There's a lot of ducks around this pond, isn't there? Oh yeah, it's going to bring me back onto the same road eventually. It's going to bring me back onto this pathway. I guess I just don't know. Or if it's the case that bikes should be cycling to just keep away from the pond, I don't know. The fact that I couldn't use the other one, it didn't really make much difference to me. But hey. Yeah, I mean now we're going to be pretty much coming up to like the car park entrance pretty much. Yeah, which is what this is. But obviously, cars can't actually get through this gate, I guess, unless you are someone that has the key, which is probably only the park keeper probably has the key for that. So you can go either side of it. But yeah. And then we're heading out onto South Park Drive. And yeah, almost home really. That was good timing, wasn't it? Yeah, that was good timing. Let's hope they're resurfacing the road, because this road is in dire need of resurfacing. Like a lot of these roads are. They are in absolutely dire need of some maintenance, you know. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching this video if you have. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. If you have any suggestions of how I could have changed my route or different routes that I can do on future videos, again, leave it all in the comments. And I'll see you on the next one.